Hello, and welcome to But Are There Dragons, a podcast where two friends pick a book at least one of them hasn't read, and they talk about it.
I'm your host, Kritter.
And I'm your host, Jess. And welcome to Season 7, Episode 8, where we are talking about the second half of Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Gate of the Feral Gods. Mm-hmm. How's it going, Kritter?
It's going great. So we're 4 books into what is now an 8-book series as of a couple of weeks ago, with the Parade of Horribles debuting. And I think I saw today that it went number 1 on, I assume, the New York Times bestselling list. It was number 1 on some list. So congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't catch which one. I didn't catch which one, but it was definitely a New York Times list.
Yeah, so hell yeah. And apparently, like, if we're talking about the same thing, it was number 1 on 2 separate lists. I think it was like mixed and also, I assume, like sci-fi fantasy, but don't quote me. Either way, it sold a lot of books. I think that is the general idea, which is really exciting. I actually didn't buy one yet because in my dreams, I'm going to find a signed copy somewhere. I was at a bookstore this weekend and I looked just to see if they had signed ones, and they didn't. So we'll get there. I did get 3 or 4 of them for Mother's Day, so the collection is growing, which is exciting.
Did see a picture, it was respectable.
Yeah,
the hype is high, so it's a really fun time to be a crawler.
It really, really is. So before we talk about the book, we're going to do a very brief but are there updates, because both of us are really excited to just talk about this section of the book. So I'm just going to take this moment to remind you all that if you want to support the podcast in a completely free way, you could give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, because remember, we are on YouTube and we are wherever you get your podcasts. So if you get your podcast somewhere else that allows for reviews and you give us a review, we would appreciate it so much. I think we're sitting at like 10-ish reviews on both platforms, which is amazing. And thank you to everyone who's already given us a review. But if you enjoy the podcast, especially, if you hate listening, feel free not to review us. But if you enjoy the podcast, please go on and give us a review. And in honor of the fact that we're halfway through the currently published Dungeon Crawler Carl books, I wanted to incentivize you all and say thank you for coming along the ride and offer just a small, teeny tiny little fun giveaway. And that is, while I was at the bookstore, I picked up a set of buttons. Now, of course, I'm keeping Goddammit Donut, You Will Not Break Me, and Mongo is Appalled, because I have a place for those already in my heart and on my bags. Obviously. However, there's a Dungeon Crawler World Earth Edition button that I'm giving away. And again, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing huge, but if you give us a review either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and comment on the YouTube video of this recording saying, what should we have them say?
They should put a cat emoji in YouTube to say that they've done that. It should be donut.
I love it. Okay, so a comment that includes a cat emoji. You can say whatever you want, but make sure there's a cat emoji there. We'll double cross-check to make sure that there is a review with your name on it, and the button will be yours. That is, of course, if you're willing to give me a mailing address that will work, because otherwise there's no way for me to get the button to you. So I think what we'll do is have the giveaway going for a week after the episode drops. So Tuesday to Tuesday. So it'll end, oh my gosh, let's look at the
2nd.
It'll end, that sounds like a good date.
Yes, the 2nd.
Okay, so contest will close at 5 p.m. Central Time on June 2nd. So make sure to give us a review, and then cat emoji us comments on YouTube, and then you'll be entered to win. And it's a pretty cool button. Dungeon Crawler World, that was what we got at the very, very end of the book, right? The advertisement for it. Yeah. Yes. So we'll be talking about it. But I hope you'll enter. And I want to say thank you again for listening to everyone who's been along for the ride for the Dungeon Crawler Carl section of this podcast.
Yeah. We love our fam.
So I think that was a good but are there updates. I think it's time to talk about the book.
Let's get into it. Okay. So we left off with an explosion and Rip Loida, which means that we kicked right off into meeting probably my favorite off-worlder.
Okay.
Auron. So, as somebody who's new to it, what were your takes on meeting Auron, first impressions of that whole interview process? I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
I really like the way he described himself, and I'm not going to be able to quote it perfectly, but he's like, not quite a lawyer, not quite a judge, whatever. I'm a independent third party here to look into things, and if it were up to me, by God, you'd be in trouble, or whatever. It was a good interaction, right? It felt very legally appropriate, where they didn't have they didn't have the facts. Like, he knew, in quotes, that Carl did it, but because he couldn't pin it on him, guilty or innocent until proven guilty kind of thing, it was fun. It was like a weird little mini adjudication, and you love to see Carl get away with it, and you love to see Donut completely oblivious. Carl's plans never work out.
There's so many things about Donut to love, right? But one of the things that I absolutely love about her is she is a ride or die. She is going to commit to the bit. Mm-hmm. She is going to go down swinging, and she's going to deny all the way.
Yeah, but she didn't know.
I love her for it.
She didn't know about it.
She didn't know, but even if she had,
she would have. Oh God, of course. Like, she never would have. Donut's not a snitch. Are you kidding me?
Right. Loyalty runs high.
It does. It runs deep and high simultaneously. So no, it was a fun interaction. Of course, I was wondering what was going to happen, but the way he did it, it was so funny how I understood what was happening. Like, from Carl's perspective, like, of course he used the rainbow explosion to make it so that they wouldn't want the cat to be on camera. That was what I was like, oh, that was smart. And then we found out that there were chemical processes involved that Carl didn't even know about. So it was like the universe aligned so that his plan could go off spectacularly. Mm-hmm. And then this, our boy Auron was just, he couldn't. Honestly, though, it was a good play with the blank sheet. Like, here, you write how you did it. You can probably get off. And the Lucia Mars already killed 2 people. It's kind of one of those things, like, again, this is not legal advice, but like, cops can say anything to you. And that's what it felt like. Like, they can lie their ass off to you, and you don't have to, we're keeping it clean.
We try not to.
They can lie. Yeah, my mistake. I'm going to rein it in. They can lie to you with liberally, and that's what this felt like. It was very it was tactical, but in like a way that we're familiar with. So it was fun. It was a fun interaction.
Yeah, I wondered how you felt about that, just given all the things, and so very quintessential of a very human experience, like very, very relatable, and. Yeah, he's not a big part of the story by any means, but one, I love the voice that Jeff Hayes gave him. Yeah. For whatever reason, I really like Auron's voice. I like a lot of the voices, but I think I like Auron's best so far. And yeah, he's so lawful, like, and you can tell that it really grinds his gears, that he wants to throw the book at him, but he's so lawful in nature that he cannot bring himself to do it, even though he's convinced that Carl did it.
Well, yeah, and
I just love that.
The powers that be are leaning on him not to, also. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was fun. I thought it was another great kickoff, another great spot for us to break and start. It was a great way to kick off the second half.
Yeah, we have to give props, by the way, to Jessica. She is the one that picks where we stop and start. And I think it's largely, I don't want to like take credit away from you, but it's largely based on the halfway point in the book.
It is.
Somehow.
I think only one time I've looked to see if something happened.
Oh, okay, so you have. Okay.
And I think it was this one. I thought it was like, okay, Loida dies, but we're still starting with a banger because we're rolling right into Auron. So I think, 1 for 4. I'll be honest, but I'll only take the credit I'm actually, got coming to me.
Well, and I guess
but it is almost always like, okay, this is where it says is the finish point. So this would be roughly the halfway point, and we go from there.
I guess that's like, if we take a creative writing course by Dinniman, it's like, okay, so about halfway through the book, you have to have something awesome happen. Because I feel like that's what happens every time.
I agree. I think that I wouldn't say he writes by numbers by any means, but I think that he does a good job at having consistent crescendos through the story.
Yes. I will say, I remember in the last episode, and I stand by this, that the first half of this book for me was a little slow, but towards the end of the first half, it really picked up. And then, oh man, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but the second whole half of the book was just banger after banger. Like, oh my gosh, he packed so much stuff into this last half.
Yeah. I forgot just how much happened in this book, but in this half of this book.
Yeah.
So it was a good read. So yeah, Oren was one of my favorite things. I'm glad you got to meet him. The next bullet that I have called out is donut underwater is all I wrote. So as we're going through, Carl and Donut and let's hold on. Let me back up half a step. While Carl and Donut are doing Oren things, meanwhile they lose 5 days. That's insane.
Yeah, when I heard that, it blew my mind.
Yeah. So, and the story does a good job of coming back and reminding me, at least, that they could have been grinding that whole time. Like, they fall behind on levels. The kind of gamified aspect of it that I don't necessarily think of right away. So good reminders. And in the meantime, we see Katya has been keeping the store open and is doing stuff with a new person named Gwen. And we get a little glimpse of Katya kind of thrust into authority and how that went. Did you have any thoughts about how that went, or what you thought how she did?
Yeah, so obviously props. Like, she did, and she made incredible progress. She butt heads with Gwen when it came to how they wanted to execute things, but she managed to navigate the situation so that Carl and Donut could go try to achieve the goals that they were trying to achieve when it came to the Gate of the Feral Gods. I will say, and by way of prediction or whatever, I'm sensing more than just normal tension between Katya and Gwen. It's like the way Carl describes the way they interact with one another is like when they were fighting alongside each other, for example. He was like, they were so wildly in sync, or the way he described, I don't know. It just felt like, obviously they have their spats, but I don't know. I think they're romantically, I want to see something happen, is all I'm saying. One of those enemies to lovers, even though they weren't enemies, but they butt heads until finally the tension rises to a crescendo, and bam, actually they're super into each other. So that's where I'm at right now with Katya and Gwen.
Love it.
Yeah.
We haven't done a lot of predictions, so it's fun to throw those in.
Or shipping, really. They're for done DCC, and not that you always have to have shipping, ships, but this is the first one that I just got kind of a whiff of romance, even more so than Juicebox and what's his name,
Louis.
Yeah.
Yep. So the thing that stood out to me, we want to definitely get it on the record that that's your prediction.
Yes,
noted.
Thank you.
The thing that really jumped out at me the first time I read it, and again this time even more so, I feel like it's such a great showcase of just how far she's come. I feel like she was so underdeveloped and such a liability, no shade, when she was, thrown into the mix with Donut and Carl. So not only is she doing a great job following instincts and playing to her strengths, she's not, cowering or kowtowing in any way to a very strong personality. She is holding her own. She has good instincts and she's using them. And to your point, navigating the vagaries of dealing with another really strong personality and doing it very well. So I think that it's a great showcase of just how far she's come.
Yeah, it's wild to think about when we met her versus where she is now. She's so powerful and capable, and impressive, and strong in personality and body.
And this goes beyond tanking, right? Like this is critical thinking and problem solving, and so we
saw during the Iron Tangle, she's like one of the smartest, and that hasn't stopped. That hasn't changed.
No. In fact, we see more of that later in this half.
Yeah.
So then, we get into Donut underwater and the joy that gives me. And I know that makes me a terrible human being, but it made me so happy because I saw the writing on the wall, obviously. Her, drawing a line in the sand. I absolutely will not be going in that water. Well, obviously, Dinniman's going to throw you in the water now, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dinniman and the AI and everyone. It just had to happen. And the thing is like, so I think it was last episode that I was complaining, or maybe it was before that, about how I feel like Donut isn't exactly pulling her weight. And I will say that at the beginning of this section, she saved Carl whenever they were in the tomb, in the sandcastle. Like he was stuck under something or whatever, and she pulled him out. So like props. But then for a very long time, as long as water was involved, it was pathetic.
It was a liability.
And then like on the main,
she sank. Like she not only
like a rock
was no help, but she sank.
Yeah. And then like again, they will go back into the water for like the main sub quest, and she stays behind. So I'm over here just like, and then she had the nerve to complain about not leveling up as much as everybody else, and I'm over here like, yeah, it's because you didn't do the quest.
But is it true to her character? Because I feel like
it is
totally is.
It's 100%. But like in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah. Like, Donut. I don't know. She's hilarious. I love her to death. But at the same time, I'm just like, girl, you can't be mad about that because you hung back. But the way she was described, how Carl was like, yeah, underwater, she was this ethereal nymph with water waving, or, her hair waving everywhere. And then when she gets up, she looks like a drowned rat, which is so accurate for when you try to bathe a cat.
Especially a big floofy cat like a Persian. Like,
yeah, they would look completely
it's startling.
different.
It's startling what they look like when they're all wet.
Yes. So honestly, it was very funny the way.
I just had an image of you washing Agni and what that would look like. And I'm just like,
misery. I haven't given that cat a bath in, I would guess, 12 years. And he's 14 at least. So yeah, no, he bathes himself and I brush him.
It's probably easier to wrestle the baby dragon than it is to wrestle Agni.
Easily. Yeah, we don't declaw in this house, and so he's more
he's a big boy. He's all there.
Yeah. Well, honestly, what's funny is like he is nothing also compared to Loki.
Right.
My muscle cat.
But so Agni just has all the personality. If anybody who hasn't watched us or watched any of Wheel and Chill, Agni likes to make appearances. Yeah. Loki, I can confirm, having visited the gods in person, Loki is massive. It's just that Agni brings all the personality.
Honestly, like, to bring it back to the book, Loki is Carl, Agni is Donut.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't.
So I digress.
For the same reason that Carl doesn't want Donut in the water.
Yeah. So that was great. However, we do have to say that as we get to the end of the book, I feel like Donut gets some redemption, right? Because as we're doing battle with the feral gods, I feel like Donut and Carl had a really great battle moment. Mm-hmm. And I will never get over hearing Jeff Hayes shout, "I don't have thumbs, Carl," when Carl tells her to take the stick. I rewound and listened to that a lot because it just tickles me so much.
Yeah, and just like honestly, the mental image of like absolutely rancid smoke coming out of Donut's paws.
She's just waving it
to get to lure a puppy of all things.
Oh,
just
gosh.
So funny. Yeah. Like that was honestly that Feral Gods like plane sequence was spectacular. I have absolutely no notes. That was well, spoilers, but maybe my favorite fight period so far in Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. So we'll see if we can top it. And I've definitely said it in other episodes that I do feel like Dinniman does a great job at raising the stakes every single time.
Yeah.
The Tangle was definitely not my favorite. This was a great way to kind of put that behind us. This was a heck of a showdown.
Yeah.
They get to see multiple gods. And again, Carl comes up with an out-of-pocket way to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the joining of, they finally get, it's almost like solving the bubble was one situation, clearly. And then defeating the gods is a whole nother situation. Mm-hmm. And through it all, ultimately, Carl winds up having to become a worshiper of Empress.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing could possibly go wrong related to that, right?
Right. Although I know we've talked about this, I think we talked about it more extensively during The Hobbit than at any other time, maybe. But my rules lawyer brain heard his requirements and already have like a loophole in my brain. Okay, so are we ready? And this probably hasn't come up yet, I assume, in the books at all. So it's like no one knows if I'm right in this way. But one of the rules is that he cannot exit the 18th floor without completing his quest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he could exit another floor. Nothing stopping him. That's not the rule. So it is a question of, are gods like, D&D demons or whatever, where they're very, meticulous about following the letter of the deals that they make? Or is that the way that Carl's going to get out of this quest that he's been given?
And that's only one of the quests, the other
two,
quests. Yeah. And I find it funny that he was given two really crazy quests. And they have two different criteria.
Yeah.
In terms of, that first quest to find his son's killer.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't try to exit the 18th floor, as you just pointed out, which I only caught what you just said, on my reread 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
By the way. So fun fact. And then the other quest to kill his brother, because obviously fratricide is so common with gods.
Mm-hmm. Bonus points if it's painful, right?
Yeah, like, dude. So we just gonna be brutal. Okay. And that one, I don't have it up in front of me, but, it has to be done by the 12th floor, which in my mind, my brain starts processing that the 12th floor is when the ascendancy happens.
Yeah, it's when the gods become vulnerable.
That's like the major god showdown floor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm curious to see how those two quests come into play on future floors.
Honestly, though, because I loved the second half of this book so much with all the god stuff, like I'm really excited about this. Also, the fact that like Dinniman has done such a good job of following through with stories, and so that's another reason that I'm really excited for this next book, because we've got the revenge of the daughter, the vengeance of the daughter, or whatever. Like, we're going back to that plot presumably in this next book, and so it's like we took a break, we took a beat, we've done some other stuff, we did the Iron Tangle, now it's time to circle back. And I have a feeling this god plot is going to be very much like, oh, it's kind of in the background, like he's got to give some coins and whatever, light a match, I can't even remember, just like small stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually we're going to kind of loop back and it's going to be God time and it's going to be epic I assume.
Yeah. Yep. So I agree. Looking forward to that. Vengeance of the Daughters. Be nice to pick that up and see where we left it.
Mm-hmm.
So since we've started talking about the battle with the gods at the end, we have another really crazy showdown with Quan CH.
Yes. I mean, that was a necessary part of what made that battle so fun in my mind.
Yeah. So the thing that I liked about that is that Carl still doesn't have him in his chat. So Carl's like saying, hey, whoever's got Quan CH, tell him to leave, Orthrus, the puppy, alone.
Mm-hmm.
And Quan basically says, nope, too bad, too sad. It's too good of a loot deal. Plus, I also might get to kill Donut to boot.
Yeah, because Donut's been ragging on him for so long, which
rightfully
is funny.
So. But
I mean, like he didn't deserve that. He's a POS. Let's be honest. I mean, and now we know that he's not only a stream sniper or like a kill stealer, but he's got a ring that helps him do it, and he's using this insane advantage that he got with his cloak in order to take away experience from other people and screw other people over so that they might not survive. He's like inadvertently, kind of advertently killing other crawlers just because he can. Like, he sucks.
So Quan CH is, I feel like, the perfect reason to ask. Do we think that's the kind of crawler he would have been regardless? Or do we think that he was cultivated to be that way by the stuff that he was given and the way that he was portrayed and the way that either the AI or Borant pushed him?
That's a really
some combination, right?
That's a good question. Maybe, I mean, you can ask the same question about Maggie, right? There's a lot of crawlers that are like you have that question. You like to think that Carl's just inherently good, but like, what if he was given all those things that incentivize crawler killing and all that other, you never know because it didn't happen. But yeah, the fact that Carl found that ring of his that was like for daddy or whatever the heck it was, like that was kind of a huge bummer. Because presumably his kids are gone, which is probably part of the reason that he's kind of just doing whatever, unless he's like trying to get back to them or something, like if he thinks they're still alive. But it's tough to forgive somebody who's literally throwing the lives of hundreds of people away for experience.
Yeah.
So,
and we've always been, of the line that like where Carl is, preserve as much human life as possible in this terrible context.
Right. Right, exactly. So yeah, Quan sucks. I was so satisfied when Carl ripped his arm off. And I know that's like very weird of me. But then Carl kept his arm, which was also hilarious. And Donut explaining it after the fact.
Yes.
Icing on the cake. He ripped his whole arm off.
And her threatening to have him beat him to death with it. Just, it's so gruesome. And then we go past gruesome and we go into the ridiculous and hilarious. But I was right there with you. However, I do like the beats, like those really quick pauses he takes that, Carl realizes he's got his arm in his hand. He looks over and he sees Donut just staring at him. And so, the story is written from Carl's POV. Mm-hmm. Carl doesn't perceive himself as out of control or a maniac in any way, but we do get a couple of minutes where every once in a while there's a pause and he perceives other people perceiving him. Mm-hmm.
And even Donut said out loud this time, like, I don't think you're like fun crazy anymore. I think
like, you're crazy,
which fair, but if she would have been in Carl's head, like Carl didn't actually rip Quan's arm off. Quan launched away from Carl, and Carl's grip is so strong that the arm came off. So really, it was a very passive.
Really, Quan did it to himself.
I'm just saying. I mean, I am a Carl apologist to the day I die, but in that case, it was not exactly Carl. And of course, Donut says something like, "You should have killed him," and Carl said, "I would have." But in my mind, I'm like, would you? Or would you have knocked him out? Or would you have done something else? Like, I don't know.
I feel like he would have this time. I feel like Quan has done enough harm.
Yeah.
That it would be enemy combatant type rules.
Yeah.
Because I think that Carl, even though he probably doesn't have he hasn't articulated it consciously, I think that he's doing his best to salvage humanity.
Yeah.
And if Quan is a direct threat to that, then
he's got to go.
Out you go.
He's got to go. Yeah, it's that part of the fight was, as I said, unnecessary part of what made that God fight so satisfying, because it's like there's so many moving pieces. They've got the dog, they've got the smelly paws. Carl's trying to fend off people from coming for the dog, and then Quan CH with the best gear in the game shows up, and he's coming for them and the dog, and then there's the God, and Carl summons the God, and it's just the way it all played out was so satisfying. I just loved all of it. So yeah, big fan.
Just good stuff. So we know that Carl obviously conquers all, as he should. And Empress and the dog, Orthrus, cancel each other out. They disappear. And then we get to the humanitarian efforts that Carl seems to find a way to do on every level. And they have devised a plan to try and save as many of the other bubbles as they can. And they even have it ranked in tiers by
so organized.
just trying to save as many as they can. And honestly, it's the thing I love about their trio, that they, all were invested and all took part in planning it. And then engage the other crawlers that they have as allies to help them fulfill it. And I just love it. You love to see it.
Yeah, because this is a game where somebody who killed Carl would have insane amounts of loot. Like, they would get tons of money, incredible amounts of loot.
He's got so much stuff.
His inventory is infinite, literally. And yet, not every time he meets people, but so often when he meets people, they kind of just fall in with him, and they get sucked into this mission that he's on. And I just love it. Because, we've got Beavis and Butthead, or Harold and Kumar, these two, convertible van guys who are idiot drunks.
Louis and Faraz.
Yeah. And by the end, they're very competent hot air balloon pilots. They fell in line and they gained, experience. One of them fell in love. And, they're just so much better off.
TBD. We don't actually know if Louis is in love.
I guess we don't know if Louis is in love.
We know that Juicebox is in love.
True. Louis seems pretty enamored with her abilities, but yeah, I guess that's true. I guess you're not wrong. So yeah, it's just really heartwarming, and every time it happens where they come together as a squad, they come together as humanity and help each other out. It's this isn't Call of Duty where you're killing each other for fun. This is nice. So, and then
as we pointed out, he's just the worst, and we know that.
Yeah. As
we pointed out at the top of the book, he was paired off with crawlers with a much lower level to balance out the number of levels per bubble. So he was, in terms of people assets, the crawlers in his bubble had no real relationship with him. And even so, they kind of fell in line to a certain extent as well. They drank the Kool-Aid.
They did. We all have at this point.
Yes, absolutely. And that brings us to double-crossing Borant. So setting things up so that all of the water gets sucked in to ruin the marketplace that specifically services the hunters on the next level.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's one of the few interactions we get with Zev in this book. Not being able to see Audette. We don't get any TV shows this time. Orin is our only new outside world contact, I think, in this book, because I don't remember really anything from the first half.
Just the the advertisement people briefly.
Oh yeah.
Briefly, and nothing substantial.
Very brief. Yep. And then, but we got Zev, and we got Zev kind of doing a commentary for the consequences of this massive coup that he technically got them to sign off on. You guys said we could do it, and if we couldn't do it, you shouldn't leave it broken.
And she was feeding them information, he noticed at the end, and it just he did say something about how They also think she was communicating with Donut via the social media
board.
Yeah, so like that gives you hope, right? We thought,
Absolutely.
oh my gosh, is she brainwashed? In fact, Zev's in there, guys. Zev is in there, which is really exciting.
In the mix.
She's in the mix. She's on Team Carl. She's drinking the Kool-Aid.
We love it. We love it. And then, of course, the stunning final action, which is the confrontation with Chris/Maggie Mai.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel about the resolution of the Chris-Maggie Mai combo situation?
Well,
how did you like that?
Because I predicted the yam thing, kind of.
Yep.
I did. It was like this yam. And it's funny that, like, I guess the yam was not meant to be used for that purpose. But Mordecai came through and helped him out with it. It was a very creepy interaction, the way that it was like they're just chilling, but like, Juice Box is like, he's over there, like he's coming.
It's very Hunter on Safari, lots of physical misdirection, and
which gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, imagine standing on a sand dune, and like all of a sudden a voice comes from directly below you. Wow, you're like, I just like get the goosebumps even thinking about it. And so somebody like slowly progressing through the sand towards you, and you can't see them, but they're trying to kill you. And it was good. I was going to say earlier that this book in particular it has the Return of the King treatment, where there's like 5 endings.
Yes,
it's like
we did have a lot.
The Feral God ending, and then we've got the gate thing ending, where they're all rescuing a bunch of the other crawlers, and then we've got the waterfall ending, and then that's just the Maggie Mai ending.
Lots of business
went down here. So it was creepy but awesome. The idea, because like in how do you get something like that out of somebody's brain, right?
Yeah.
What? So
never saw it coming.
Yeah, no, like a phase potion. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then honestly, like I'm trying to remember exactly how it went down, but in my head I was like, if you pull the worm through, it's like the worm doesn't have the phase, but like the worm burrowed into him before he pulled his hand out. Is that right? Like he went to reach in for the worm, and the worm like went into him.
The phase only affected Carl's density with the magma and igneous material that Chris is made of. The worm is physically existing and not made of those materials.
No. Yes. My thing was, if he pulls the worm out of Chris, the worm is not phasing. So the worm could damage Chris. But if I'm remembering right, while Carl was phased into Chris, the worm went into Carl, which I guess
got you.
Like
immediately, immediately bit Carl,
and then like became part of Carl's business essentially. So like that could be phased. So that was my one thing. I was like, wait, how did the worm is still dangerous? But no, I mean it made sense because it burrowed into him. And then this was the one question where it was like, are they gonna have Carl kill her? And then of course it was Mongo. So that was kind of amazing. And then I was worried that Mongo was going to swallow her whole. But of course Carl was like, chew, chew. And then he literally physically saw Mongo chomp down on her. So we don't have to worry necessarily about her coming back. I think she's dead.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a body. That's how you convince me that somebody's dead.
It seems like a reasonable expectation at this point, because otherwise people would be pulling some shady stuff. We don't actually know you're dead.
And Donut was able to loot her corpse, so that's helpful. That's like further confirmation that she's dead. But it was a good interaction. It was a good solution, and I'm very curious to see what happens with Chris in the future
going forward. Yeah. Yep. I was really worried about it when I went in. I was like, I really don't want him to get a player killer skull at all.
Yeah,
I definitely don't want him to get a player killer skull for killing Chris. Like, that's just not my Carl.
Not my Carl. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't want him to get one for this. And it's interesting. We didn't really talk about this, but they keep muting people and erasing chats and like It's
and
just
changing inventories.
The strings are everywhere. It's so interesting to see, like, why are they trying to protect whoever's helping Maggie? Like, do they want to maintain the appearance of, you know, what's the word? Like, not like perfection, or like unadulterated dungeon crawling, or is it something else? I don't know. I just don't know. It's very intriguing. Every time the world pauses, every time anything, I'm just like, it pings.
What are we changing?
What's going on? Like, why is this important? So it's fun. It's a fun element, just having the overarching, the politics everywhere, and the fact that you hear about like lawsuits that they're winning and losing and all that stuff in the background it's fun.
Yeah. And just the fact that they know so much more about the larger operating system of it on like a galactic level, probably more so than other crawlers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that takes us into, how about that epilogue?
Oh my gosh. Okay, but before we go there, we haven't talked about the hilarious live streamed battle underwater.
Yes.
With the Sharktopus, aka Octoshark. I don't know. I don't know what more there is really to say about, other than the fact that I absolutely love the way that Carl never fails to use his protective shell, not for defense, but for offense.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a defensive spell, but no, thank you. So it was funny getting like live commentary from somebody who wasn't the AI for once, is basically my takeaway.
Yeah, those two commentators, pundits, they are something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice to hear a different perspective every time we get like a new voice. Like,
yeah. Was it Kevin? I'm trying to remember their names. One of their names was like,
I don't have
Dave.
I do think one is named Kevin. I can't remember what the other one's
Kevin
name
and
is.
Then like Magnificent Andy. That's not it, but it was something like that.
That sounds really close, actually.
Yeah. And then
I didn't mean to state over it, but the battle for the Akula was something else.
Underwater scariness. I mean, it's just deep diving. Oof, like being underwater, all of that with the ghost floating around and the dead bodies everywhere. That was a visual, the mental visual nightmare. And then the giant shark showed up.
And we just leveled up again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, sorry. Epilogue.
No, that's okay. I was going to go into the epilogue just because for anybody who's been with us, my favorite part of this intro was I got a text from Kritter about the epilogue, and I told you. So I wanted to give her an opportunity to talk about it here on the pod.
Yeah. So remember, I think I've said many times now that if there's not a body, I don't believe the person is dead. You can't convince me. And once again, I was right. B is alive. B and that, oh my gosh, what's his, Chad? Yeah.
Of course his name is Brad.
And Gravy Boat, anyways, obviously whenever the B reveal happened, it wasn't, let's just be honest, it wasn't even a reveal because I knew it was coming. not completely, but like, yes, I did. It was interesting how, the way they survived is because they were sitting at an airport parking garage waiting for their Ubers. That was relatable. But you find out more about B, right? You've never really gotten her perspective before. And granted, we were getting Brad's perspective, but we found out that she cut their vacation early when Carl broke up with her. She was devastated and she was like inconsolable after that. And so to me, like, I hate a cheater. So she was cheating and she deserves all the sadness that she's getting. But at the same time, you have to like almost feel a little bit like, oh, you actually do care about Carl to some extent, at least. And so now it just has me curious about what's going to happen when they reunite, because Carl clearly cared about her as well, but he's becoming a whole different person down in the dungeon. So I'm so looking forward to their reunification. And also I want to punch Brad in the face. Yeah.
I think that goes without saying. We could take a poll. I think it would be probably as close to a unanimous as you can get.
I'm a king. God, shut up.
I'm like you give Dude Bros a bad name. I wish you would just stop.
Yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt the same way, right? To hear that, B clearly did have real feelings for him, although it does not excuse what the hell are you doing, excuse me, going on vacation with another man.
Brad, yeah.
It's weird. It's weird.
Very weird.
Yes, the gravy boat reveal, absolutely. And just the other part of that was that it was Alexis, Odette's assistant, that was there to collect them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll certainly figure into how they get reunited. You can't have any doubt.
Yeah, it's like greatest ratings of all time if Audette brings them on the show, but then she can't really because the rules against using natives, except for that apparently this walk-on list is very well established, and so I'm if Audette has her, I don't see her getting into the dungeon, but she also can't bring her on her show without giving herself up as somebody who has tampered with the natives. So I'm extremely curious about how this is all going to work. Obviously, there's stuff going on in the background that Audette could navigate B's way into the dungeon if she wanted to, but she's also going to do it for profit. So how's that going to go down? Is she going to put her up for ransom? Is she going to sell her to Boren? What is she going to do? I don't know, because I don't trust Audette to be a good person necessarily. Mordecai doesn't trust her. She's helped Carl in the past, but again, it's always been because Carl and Donut get great ratings, presumably,
right?
And so they're helping her, and
it's still in self-interest.
It's a transactional relationship. So what is she going to do with B is the big question, and I am really worried about what they're doing with Gravy Boat. Also, everyone seems to be sure that it's not going to be good.
Yeah. So that was the thing that stuck out to me. And then, so is there anything else that came up in the epilogue that stood out to you, raised questions for you, anything like that?
I'm trying to, other than them kind of name drop, or not name dropping, but suggesting that the other crawlers have people out there also, right?
They're looking for them.
They're looking for them too.
Looking for
there's
them.
A goat. There's a man down in South America, which has me thinking Lucy Amar. There's just a lot of stuff that I'm over here. What are we? Who all? What is going to happen with all these natives? Right? It's pretty. It's pretty interesting. And I can't remember what else happened in the epilogue. That was the main chunk.
There was a little bit before it, from the perspective of the open intellect pacifists.
Yes. Okay. So in the Dungeon Anarchist cookbook, there was somebody who was I'm taking a deal. These people can live hundreds of years. I'm going to do what I can from the outside. Right. I can't remember what that person's name was. Drives me nuts. And then we get this person in the Pacifists Network or whatever, who I think, because I'm listening to the audiobook, it sounded like initials. It didn't sound like a name. It sounded like initials. So now I'm I want to go back and see in the Dungeon Anarchist cookbook who that person was and whether their initials match up. Because to me, it's that feels like it's got to be the same person, right? Because they're clearly very invested in Carl's cause. And Carl's cause is the cause of the Dungeon Anarchist cookbook. So that's where
that was what was really stood out about that dialogue in that section, that, is one person for Carl and the other person is saying, he's unhinged, he's this, he's that, he's going to die. You said that last level. So,
right.
And just the big takeaway was, they're signing up for Carl's cause. Well, Carl's cause is our cause.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I knew there was something else.
Okay.
So I know I wanted to talk about
the B section was bigger,
it was huge news. Yeah. And this other thing is kind of just ooh, did I put two and two together, or is this somebody else entirely,
Yeah. So, Raffo.
Yep.
So Any other fave moments or standouts that we didn't get to, things that you wanted to mention?
I not necessarily, other than just that Donut was cracking me up because she like gets mad about people on the social media boards and she's like pretending to watch TV while everyone's opening their prizes and stuff. And also, I don't avoid fan art, but I'm not actively seeking it out. And so the more that Carl gets decked out in his signature look, right? He's got the leather vest with patch spots for patches. He's got a bandana now. There's so much stuff that I'm like picturing in my mind. Like, of course, Carl's like the perfect male specimen in my head now because I love him. And, another book husband has come out of Dungeon Crawler Carl for me. But just the more clothes he gets, the funnier the picture becomes. And Donut's commentary on the outfit is also hilarious. And I feel like it was like book 2 or 3, early that I was like, oh, so Donut's Earth hobby potion was something to do with like clothing, embroidery, stitching, something like that, because somebody had like a uniform on or something that she was very specifically commenting on. And then like last book or last section, Carl's like, we still don't know what Donut's hobby potion was. And I'm like, and then in this section, she's commenting on, oh, this is just screen print. What happened to embroidery? I'm over here like, how is it not obvious to everyone that Donut's hobby potion is something to do with stitching, clothes making, like something like that? I don't know. And I could be wrong. Maybe she's just always been invested in that stuff. But yeah,
she's very textile oriented.
Sure. Yeah. So it surprised me when Carl was like, we still don't know what it is. I was just like, we don't? Okay.
He's got a few other things on his mind.
It's true.
We could give him a pass.
We can, yeah. So that was it. Yeah. Donut cracking me up, even though I do think she needs to pull her weight a little more in fights. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Again, though, I really like seeing her and him in the biplane fight. Yes. It gave me very Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes.
Yes. And like credit to her, she had the heal Kritter spell. Without her, the dog would have died. So, she did some things, but it's like, it's always like Carl's the offense and she's kind of like she's the support. That's just how it feels. Right. And that's just how it is, I guess.
Yep. So that is the next part is what was your favorite mob for this half of the book?
Okay, so the favorite baddie is kind of, and I kind of already, my favorite fight was the big god fight, which was amazing. So I guess, but if I'm picking one specific baddie, it's Quan CH, because he added that spice. He added that zip into that fight that really made it, because they thought they had it figured out with this dog. And then, of course, the AI comes in, throws a wrench in things, and puts a bounty on the dog and all that stuff. And most people are going to respect Carl and Donut and everyone being like, if you do, I'm going to hunt you down. But, of course, Quan CH didn't. And so it just made it such a fun fight.
You heard it here, first, folks. We got our first non-NPC fave baddie.
Wait, didn't I pick Maggie Mai once?
Oh, you probably did. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah. I just like to hate humans.
No,
I just want them to be better.
You don't like trash humans. There's nothing wrong with having standards.
Yeah. But I also love the tea. And whenever other crawlers are being bad, that's like the tea. It's getting scalded, it's getting hotter and hotter. So yeah. That's where I'm at. What about you?
For this one, I picked Quetzalcoatlus because I really loved the imagery, such as it was, because we know I don't do a really good job of picturing it necessarily. It sounded equal parts terrifying and beautiful. So I just really liked Quetzalcoatlus in this one. The Octomom shark, it sounds terrifying.
Wild.
And the gods were all very interesting as well. I think I probably would have given an honorable mention to Slit, which
I was just about to say we haven't talked about.
We didn't talk about Samantha at all. Do you have thoughts, feelings, opinions on Samantha, the sex doll head?
Oh my god, that is a character in this book.
Yeah.
A decapitated sex doll head possessed by a minor god. What? I don't know. The way the narrator does her voice is absurd. She is so aggro, and I'll just say that in small doses she can be fun, but I don't know how much I can handle if she's gonna constantly be threatening to kill people's mothers. Like, that's where I'm at, and just like the visual of it, and the fact that the pacifist corporation sent Carl an extension to his G-Stera to throw her head,
chuck her,
so funny, and the amount of money they allegedly spent on that.
Yeah.
So funny. But yeah, I don't know. The jury is still out on Samantha. I know at least one person, shout out to Hot Sauce Steve, who loves her. And time will tell.
Yeah.
How I feel about Samantha. But for now, I'm just I'm in shock with the way that she is, basically.
And there was one other thing that I just thought of that we didn't even touch on. We have a setup for a goodbye at the end of this book.
Oh my gosh. That's right.
So Katya is going to get off the Donut and Carl train, as she called it. Kind of feel like we just got used to her. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, good for her. It makes sense, kind of. Like, she wants to go out, like, she feels loyalty to the daughters, which so like, if I were in her shoes, I would feel inclined to do the same, right? I would not want them going back to Eva. I would want to lead the charge. Also, the weapon that she has is conducive to leading a bunch of women. So, like, there's that too. She's learned a lot. She's coming to her own. I would say it feels somewhat disloyal that she's leaving, but she's going back to the people that she was with first. So that complicates things. And she's not wrong about Carl and Donut having their own Carl and Donut stuff, especially going into this next floor with the Vengeance of the Daughter plot. So I get it. I'm sad, but I am happy because whenever we met Katya, in my mind, it was never going to be a permanent thing. At first, because she was constantly obsessed with the daughters. And honestly, now we're coming full circle on that. But like, she was so weak at first and obsessed with the daughters that I thought eventually she's going to go back there. And now I just completely lost my train of thought. It's gone. It's just totally gone. Oh no, she was always going. Yeah. So the fact that she's going, it checks out, because it's like, I've seen the book covers, unfortunately, on some of the later books. I've never seen Katya on a book cover, unless I'm mistaken, unless I like missed her somehow. But like, she just was never gonna be part of the main squad, like for the whole run. So she will be missed. She is incredibly useful as a person, but also it doesn't feel good to be like, I need somebody who will fix this plane. Katya. I need somebody who's going to carry a bunch of stuff. Katya. I need somebody who can turn themselves into an anchor. Katya. Like, she just feels like the catch-all person for like, well, we need this, and she can provide it. So yeah, good for her. That was a long way to say good for her. I hope she does well. I don't want them to lose their awesome personal space, so I hope they figure it out in like some way that they don't. So anyways, how do you feel about her departure?
Is it a cop-out to say same? It's a lot of the same stuff. Just gotten used to having her. Her value is without question. But she's right on the money in that when you're on the Carl and Donut train, it doesn't leave room for any other mission. And she has found her own mission. I will say that the fact that all of the characters had that conversation and parted ways with grace, makes me proud of them.
I did feel for Carl, because he's clearly got abandonment issues, and she did not help. She did not help those. She clearly triggered them in triggered some real feelings by her leaving.
So we'll see what it means for our band of heroes going into the next episode, the next book.
Episode. Yeah. I mean, both kind of.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. With all of that dealt with, the next part of our pod is where we talk about who is our MVP for this half and our runner-up. Mm-hmm. So I will go first again, and I will give my runner-up.
Okay.
I am going to give runner-up again to Katya for this half.
Okay.
There were several things where her intelligence came into play. One of the things that I can't ignore is she was such a huge part of figuring out how the gate mechanism, how the watch mechanisms worked, and how to channel that appropriately for them to then also tank the 6th floor, to flood the 6th floor. My words are bad. So I just think that, again, Katya played a huge role in some really important things that were big set pieces in this book, but set the stage for the next book too.
Yeah. Okay, so similar reasons, different character. I'm picking Juicebox because without her, similarly, the tanking of the 6th floor would not have gone through. Without her, they wouldn't have been able to monitor as closely the Maggie Mai situation, right? She was like kind of giving them the wink, wink, nudge, nudge as Maggie Mai was approaching. Yeah. And she did that all despite becoming aware of her nature as an NPC. So I think, and she still continued to look out for her people the whole time, even though she knew like times were like maybe that it was futile, right? So I think she just seemed like a really good person / NPC, and somebody who started out as just some like stereotypical like I'm gonna show you a good time became like such a complex, helpful, integral part of this plot. Was really satisfying.
Yeah, we don't talk about Juicebox enough. Hopefully we get a chance to remedy that.
Yeah.
She's an excellent choice.
Yeah, thank you.
So with that, my MVP for the second half is Carl. He's doing the most.
The most.
Cannot pretend otherwise. Another huge humanitarian effort. Again, it was a group effort. He spearheaded it. And the big double birds to Borant and the flooding of the 6th floor marketplace, and just, he's a chaos demon and I love it. He is finding ways to beat the game. Yeah.
He also, not to mention going all the way back to the beginning of this read, because I'm picking him too, obviously. He took Orin, to town. He like to school. Like he didn't give in to the interrogation tactics. None of that. He got out scot-free. The plan worked. It was incredible. And then all the other stuff, right? He something that happened in this read also kind of reminded me of, and I'm not going to spoil anything, the Wheel of Time, where as part of the plot, he sent the last people that were down in the tomb to their deaths without knowing for sure that they were going to die, but knowing that the chances were very high. And like props to them for being as brave as they were in the end, having seen everybody else in their section of the bubble die. But it was interesting having him, like being there with him as they died, and then like it impacting him in that way, right? He had to really internalize like, I did that kind of, but like they died good deaths, but it was me who kind of made it happen. It felt very much like, without any context, Rand's list, or Matt being like, who am I to order these people into battle, kind of a thing. So that felt really relatable. And at a certain point, having to sit there in the bar while your plans are being carried out after, and Juicebox made a good point here, after having done the most in battle, right? Like, you can take a breather, you need to chill. He's always helping people, always doing everything he can to protect his friends, to protect humanity, and to, say F you to not the man, the alien, the powers that be. But I just love him, and this half of the book was so satisfying, and he led the charge like he always does.
Yep. So, to the shock of no one, Carl takes this book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know who got second?
Second would have been Katya, actually.
Okay, nice. Good for her. Good
Yeah.
for her. That makes sense. Katya did well. Okay, well, excellent. Are we good? Is that it?
I think so.
Okay, so friendly reminder to, if you want to get entered to win the Dungeon Crawler World button, either review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Spotify, and or if you get your podcast somewhere else, give us a rating there, and then comment a cat emoji along with whatever else you want to comment under the YouTube video of this particular podcast episode. So, our next read, surprise, surprise, is going to be book 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, The Butcher's Masquerade, because we are plugging through, because I want to get to that 8th book and catch up with everybody. We'll be reading chapters 1 through 38. The episode will drop on June 9th. So we're doing this, we're keeping it up every couple of weeks, because we want to read that 8th book together, and I know Jessica's excited about reading it too. So that's our next book, and if you want to keep up with us, June 9th for chapters 1 through 38, book 5, Butcher's Masquerade. So thank you so much for tuning in to our 8th episode of season 7 of But Are There Dragons, brought to you by your hosts, me, Kritter XD, and Jessica Sadai. Don't forget to follow us at But Are There Dragons on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and But Dragons Pod, just one T, on X. You can also find your hosts on social media as Kritter XD and Shelf Indulgence. That's it for today. New achievement! Halfway schmaffway. When we were your age, we had to read our books by candlelight. 4 books into a series, and we'd have to change our glasses prescriptions. Now you have Kindles and audiobooks and good lighting? Good for you, I guess. Reward? You've got 4 more books to go, my friend. Bye.
Bye.